I'm in Boston, home of the Mets, baby. And I'm your host, Mike, the guy who can't hit record. Forget about it. My discussion today is with
Vivra Vera.
Vivra Vera. Debilitating at times, but I think it helps.
Oh my god! Folks,
Ruh-roh.
I'd hate to give you this news.
You come
We
into
have a spilled seltzer.
my house and you spill my raspberry lime polar.
Now you have great seltzer taste.
Just grab a
Here's a
towel.
beanie if you want to use the hat.
Oh no.
What?
No!
Oh no, what?
Has it not been recording?
Who are Vivra Vera?
We are a bunch of just no nonsense, just serious people. I'm tired. Do I start now with the?
Yeah, yes.
All right. I'm so unprepared.
It's okay. Go ahead.
All right. I am Tyler Belisle, sometimes known as Tyler Belsley. I like I like to play the theremin and bongos and a little bit of guitar.
Just to make it clear, you do not main instrument the theremin in Vivra Vera, correct?
No, I wish.
You wish?
I wish.
Okay, we'll make it happen in the future.
Thank you.
I'm Anna. I'm not gonna say my last name because it's difficult. I play guitar, just the rhythm, and then I sing.
My name is Jason Andrews. I do bass and I do vocals. And that's basically it. Dance around a little bit.
Very cool.
Pass it down that way.
Pass it all around, everybody.
You are.
Joint.
Oh, sure. I'm Mike. Don't know from the intro.
You're the fifth member of our band today.
Oh no, you do not want me in your band.
I'm Marissa, I play drums.
Very cool. Here, do you want this?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll,
cool.
I'll,
All
take,
right.
I'll take
Sorry
it.
if you want.
So what is Vivra Vera?
That is the loaded question. I think it's a mix of, what did we agree on? Like French, Latin, or something. We were going for like a touche amore type name, and yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. I feel like we
We
are.
misspelled it too. It was double R. And it
We
was
misspelled it.
we misspelled the name. It
Oh, we
was
did
a
that on
Vivra
purpose.
Vera with double R, and then there was an EDM artist with that name, so we changed it to one R.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember that. I still listen to that artist sometimes.
Look it up!
I was trying to avoid like my second cease and desist with band names, so
Oh, okay. What happened?
Meth Dad. I wish that was a joke.
Number
but that was
one
serious.
meth dad.
Number one meth dad right here. But
Was that your... Wait, was that for this group?
no.
Okay,
that-
you were
this
not
was years-
formally meth dad. I
No,
just wanted
no,
to make sure.
no. This was years ago. This was years ago.
Okay, so how did you all meet?
Well, wait, who did I meet first? You. So me and Jason, we used to play in a punk band before that, and then COVID kind of shut it down.
Okay.
And then we decided to start the band back up, and we wrote a bunch of punk songs. But we were like, we need a guitarist, because like I can't just do everything. And then I think on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
really?
I posted on Facebook,
Marketplace?
and then it was
Yeah.
yeah, we were like trying to buy a guitarist, and then Tyler he came
I'm cheap.
and then we became friends immediately, and Marissa, that's like a special story. I'll tell a story. So we met Marissa. It was one hot June night in 2022. I was in my car. I was on this.
Very cool.
I was on this app called Vamper. It's like Tinder.
Okay.
You swipe on people, but to play music with.
What's it called?
Yeah. Vamper.
Vamper. But take out the E.
Like vampire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're vamping, you know? One of those
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, is that what it stands for?
Oh.
I didn't
Yes.
know. I would never have guessed that.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
So I was swiping on a bunch of like drummer dudes, and then I saw
Hell yeah,
Marissa.
as you do.
Yeah. And then I see Marissa, and she's like playing a Blink cover, and I'm like, what?
This isn't a drummer
We
dude.
must have her. So then So then I messaged her and she agreed to come to practice, and we've been together since.
No kidding.
Mhm.
So you were playing a Blink cover?
Yeah, what cover? It was.
I think it was Shut Up.
Yes, I think it was
Yes,
Shut Up.
I remember
Yeah.
very well. I still watch that
Yeah.
video to this day.
I literally, I found this app and I signed in, and literally the first person that popped up was Anna.
Damn,
And I was just like,
it was meant to be.
It was.
yeah, I was like, this girl looks too cool for me.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, we all
But
did.
I was just like, I
That's so
really
sweet.
want to be friends with her, and I want to play music in her band. So, and yeah,
It's just
they
that-
sent me some demos, and I was like, I like this. So
And I think one of the things too is we had tried out a few drummers before you already. Originally, it was her partner Val who was playing drums for us, just sort of like filling in. And he is a drum machine, by the way, to the point it's just like anyone who understands like drum mapping and drum programming, velocity 127, everything. No dynamics, love you, Val, but oh my god. But so we had tried out a few drummers between that, and I think some of the sound was just because I come from a very different camp, and we can touch on that in a bit.
Okay.
But
That sounds really good.
this is exactly what
That was very
we
cozy.
would already get to. But we kind of all have eclectic backgrounds. We can touch on that more. But I think
Behind the camera.
yeah. But I think one of the things that I was trying to also have us move towards is a little bit more like post-hardcore. And, you know, we were having some very like straightforward punk drummers, all solid players. But then you had seen the Blink cover, and then I had seen a Circa cover, and then I was just like, oh yeah, no, it was it.
A circuit cover?
A Circa Survive.
You
they're like, y'all are like naming all these covers that I did. That I'm like, I did a what? I probably yes.
Was it something from Blue Sky Noise? I don't remember.
It should be because that's their best record.
It is.
Yeah, I love Circa. What song was it?
Was it Get Out?
It
No.
was Get Out. Yes.
Wait, what's Get Out? Oh
Yes,
yeah, you know how to play
yes,
that because
yes.
I
Thank
tried to do
It's
that.
the song.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, I felt free, and I was like, no, it wasn't that one.
Okay, really?
Yeah,
How do they start that song? We watch so many live clips, and it's always like I don't know if they play it to like a click live, but it's always just like the
They've got
drummer
that
just like
ears.
comes in. It's just like I can't get started from the part where I left off yesterday, like that, and it's just like. I think that was one of the things we wanted to ask Anthony Green about.
Were you in an Anthony Green cover band? Because you sound just like him.
I try. I just like channel that inner like gremlin a little bit.
The inner gremlin?
Yeah.
I'm the host and I made the mistake of giving my microphone away. Okay, I'm back. We're back, baby. Woo. Very cool.
Yes.
So, you two were in a band together.
Yes.
Then you found Tyler on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then you
They
found
were in love with Marissa.
Marissa on Tinder for Musicians.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am curious then, so once you all formed together and you started rehearsing, was it all music that you had solely written?
Yeah, it was mostly songs that me and Jason wrote. They were like punk songs. And then when Tyler joined, we wrote Topo Chico, which will come out soon.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then I did write a song called Sleep Paralysis, which was just a demo that I just discarded. I didn't do anything with it. And one day I just sent it to them, and they're like, Tyler just took it and he did something completely different with it, which is pretty cool.
That
So
is
that was
awesome.
a way of writing that we've never done before. Like I would write a full song, send it to him, and he would just completely transform it, but keep the vocals the way they are, and it would fit together. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then what else did we write? And we have like another 2 songs that we have, but they sound completely different. They're not punk rock at all.
Okay.
So we started as a punk band, but then when they joined, it became something else. And that's when like we're like, okay, that's like a completely different band. It's Vivra Vera.
Interesting. So I guess I am curious, just talking sonically for the band as a whole. So it sounds like perhaps, and you can obviously explain, but the two of you seem to have more of like a punk background, where a lot of your influences are. And I am curious, so obviously you were doing Cirque Survive covers, which I don't even know if I could do that. I am just curious what everyone's influences are and how that affects the band as a whole now that you're one singular unit.
So I've said it's kind of like a cosmic gumbo. Anyone that gets a reference, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, it's
Is it bad if the host doesn't get the reference?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you should leave Tim Robinson.
Oh,
Get the reference either.
Yeah, no one else got that. Yeah, no, Jason didn't.
Great
get it.
show, but
yeah,
okay.
Great show. Okay, it's the Santa clip.
Tim, maybe you'll come on here.
Yeah, that would be great. But so I feel like we're kind of like a Venn diagram where like there's no middle. Like we all are sort of like linked through like different influences, if that makes sense. Like
It does.
I think like one of the things too is like we've tried to all agree on a cover and we have just never all uniformly agreed on one thing, because it's just like 3 out of the 4 of us will like something, but then it's always one of us that doesn't. So but I think that's sort of like a description of like where the sound is kind of coming from, because and I feel like bands say that a lot. It's like an eclectic sound, but it is interesting because I think there is just such a variety here that even in like other bands that I've just played in the past, when I lived in Nashville, it was just nothing like this. It's very eclectic. Like me and Jason are the very odd ones out. I feel like we listen to a lot of very weird, like, how would you even just, I feel like you have some very like fringe stuff you listen to, but I feel like me and you like the very weird stuff, I feel like.
Yeah, I just like anything creative, I guess. So I listen to like a lot of like newer black metal, which is like pushing the lines of like the way black metal is supposed to sound, and I like a lot of old punk stuff and emo, big time. That's like kind of my biggest influence is probably emo and like metal, like lower, not super aggressive metal, but like lower end metal. So yeah, no, we get along very well because Tyler likes heavy music and Marissa and Anna also like heavy music. We just we found a way to make it work, and I think we're writing some really good stuff, and Tyler is sort of the driving force behind that, and he's pushing us, which is really nice.
Yeah, we talked about
He's
that.
pushing our buttons. That's
There's always one. I know because I'm the
always that
one
guy.
too. Yeah.
I'm always that guy.
Well, I knew, and speaking of heavy music, I mean, I knew it was going to be a good interview as soon as we walked in and I saw the Under Oath poster and then the Vanna poster. I was like, oh yeah, these are our people.
Yes, welcome home. I like a lot of like, Scissor Sisters, Kenny Chesney, Alan Jackson, just, and then like,
Okay, awesome.
and then, no, I think, yeah, like I was saying earlier, we're very eclectic. I come from the very odd one out camp. I'm such a maximalist. I love stuff like the ADHD metal, like the stuff where it's just like Between the Buried and Me, The Faceless. Like I'm coming from that tech death, just crazy thing. And I'm like, I like jazz fusion players like Holdsworth, and then getting into like Danny Elfman, just stuff like that. I feel like that is just the stuff that I like listen to, and then I try to like put it into a more cohesive, coherent song formula, and it's very challenging at times, but I think it does kind of make for some interesting mix with some of the other influences around here. So yeah,
You're speaking my language because Between the Buried and Me, making theater kids cool.
Absolutely. Coma Eclectic. Was that their like weird, like not operatic, but I think was that the one that was intended to be almost sort of like a musical?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, if it wasn't, it is now.
Yes.
So deal with that. But anyone else want to talk about, I guess,
Everyone has
where they've carved out
influences.
their like space for influence in the band?
Yeah.
Because I think, I'm gonna pass it to Anna next, because I'm gonna say I think I have all the weird, like fringe ideas that are just very out there, and I feel like people kind of have to like tone me down a little bit, which is helpful at times. But I think we have a variety on the other end that's a lot more, pop sensibility and like a little bit more structured and listenable. So that's where I'm gonna give it to Anna and actually put her on the spot a little bit.
what my influences are for this band
Yeah.
is Tyler's moods. So whatever he
Man.
writes, whatever he sends, I'm always like, I have anxiety before I listen to it because I'm like, this is gonna be something. Then I open the file and there's like these numbers everywhere, and I'm like, what is? I don't know what's going on. And then
on the moon, really.
yeah, it's it's like
Yeah, it's just the moon.
and
Yeah, my
it's-
internal water is like flowing in more of like a tech metal mood this week.
We're definitely a vibes band for sure. I really do think that we're totally a vibes band. You know,
I love that.
We'll be able to work with what we work with, and he sends us the structure, and then he allows us to kind of do what we want to do with it. So
Well, that's interesting. So not only is Anna, which seems like you do a lot of writing, but it
no,
seems like
I primarily do like vocals now.
okay.
Because he does like all the guitars, and it's just a matter of whether can I sing it and play it at the same time.
Ah.
That's like the challenge. usually.
So in today's state, then, are you actually doing a lot of like? I guess I'm trying to get like an idea of how much writing actually happens in the room, and how much is it?
None.
None.
No.
We have one song that I actually didn't do much on, which I think is a testament to my writing style. But we have a song, Garlic and Lemons, right there, Harvard Ave, Alston. Love you guys. But it's called Garlic and Lemons, inspired by the falafel and the shawarma. But that was a song that was written more organically and on the spot. I think I was in the room and I just kind of like sat back and watched Anna and Jason sort of just crank that out in like an hour. And it's one of those songs too that I think has actually stuck as well, because I think it was something that was written when we kind of started migrating, I guess, kind of beyond the punk era. It's a little bit like Minus the Bear in some ways, because I'm still trying to like work out like weird effects and tapping parts and things like that. I still live, I improvise over that song half the time. But yeah, I feel like that's one of those that was more organic, but everything else is usually just like written like in this room at home, just me and my laptop and my Git fiddle, and you know, I just come up with a really dumb idea and then I just put more dumb ideas behind it, and then we fix it.
I love that. Is there any other influences anyone wanted to talk about? Okay.
Yes. Thank you for asking.
We're keeping it all in.
Did you?
It's all staying in.
Well, no, I was gonna say I feel like Anna and I have a lot of like pop punk influences, which goes back to what Tyler was saying about how everyone sort of overlaps like in different bands and different styles, I feel like. But then yeah, a lot of my things that I grew up with, like post-hardcore, like metalcore bands too. So I feel like that's where a lot of like my style comes from. But then yeah, it's really cool to be able to like have everybody have different things. Yeah, I feel like even like when we were watching like Spirited Away like recently, and Tyler was just like, the score to this is amazing, and
I
he
mean,
just
you're not wrong.
went down this rabbit hole of like looking up like the composer and just like how that was written, and then like I feel like you translated that into like something like a newish song idea, and I was like, that's really cool. Like I would never have thought of that.
That's gonna be like a transition in our set too, because I figured out exactly how to make it flow from like one song to another, just like allowing the tempo to slowly decrease, kind of using these weird like chords to kind of help shift it to a new key. And I definitely took a lot from Spirited Away. And Joe, I'm not gonna say his last name because I'm gonna butcher it, Joe H.
Shout out to Joe H. of
You the
Spirited
real
Away
one.
fame. No,
You're the real one,
you're
Joe.
speaking to a real movie buff, because no one can watch a movie without me annoyingly being like, oh, that's the guy who scored Lord of the Rings or whatever. I love that. That's great. So I am curious, now that we've sort of talked about where you are as a band today, where are you physically as a band? Yes, we all know, and you don't have to say it. Thank God that
Don't
was
give her
in the
the mic
microphone. But upcoming shows, upcoming releases, things to talk about like that?
Yeah, so physically as a band, I think most of us are still kind of on the astral plane. We're projecting a little bit and trying to figure things out. But we have
Awesome.
I am so sorry. I can't take anything seriously. It's the weekend.
You
It's
better not
Sunday.
take it seriously.
No, I think we have a lot of we have some stuff in the works. Big things coming, you guys. No, we do have a release, and I feel like that's a story in and of itself of just some old tracks we've been sitting on for years, and my perfectionist neurotic tendencies have just caused us to constantly delay as I keep trying to tweak and edit and put it into a new mix template. But I think everyone's kind of had enough of me sitting on it for a while, so we're pushing, depending on when you're watching this or listening. We're pushing to have this out in April, and then we're gearing up to actually start recording an EP in the next couple of months. I think we have a drum engineer lined up this time because we learned not to DIY the drum recording.
Correct.
Yes.
Drums are a bitch to record.
They are.
Now, is everything else going to be DIY in-house?
We're gonna try to keep most of it as DIY as possible. We have like really cool facilities here in Boston and resources for musicians. I think this is such a good city to be in as a musician because while you still have a lot of these developments encroaching on it, I think the city is doing what it can to preserve all of the artists and the talent here. Record Co. is such a great place over in Dorchester. That's where we tried to originally record the drums. I tried to record Marissa. We can get to that story later. But they have we can still go and set up and record vocals with Anna, have guest vocalists come on the EP as well, and then the rest of it we're able to do in house because I'm lazy. I want to keep it DIY and cheap. So as much as I can do here, just with the fractal effects, the axe effects. Just trying to record guitar and bass here. So trying to keep the rest of it in-house.
I think that's the way nowadays.
It is.
Because, and I know personally because we've done it a few times, but recording is fucking expensive. So the fact that I walked in this room and though it's not on camera, there's a great little studio set up and there's a track open right now. And I know you mentioned throwing it in a new tempo map. Just release it.
I know.
It's never going to be perfect. Just
I know.
do it. Very,
Do you know
very
how many
cool.
people have told me that?
Your whole band.
Yeah.
I can count a couple people in the room. So what is this story? So you all went to record drums at Record Co?
Yes. Record Co. in Dorchester, Studio C. Solid room, great room sound. Well, I remember which room. Yeah. It was
Studio C. C stands for Can't Record Drums.
Yes. Yeah, yes. No, I think sometimes when you get a little overconfident and you think you YouTubed enough stuff, you didn't. You get a real engineer. If you're a guitarist trying to record your drummer, don't do that. And that's coming from me.
You hear that, Polyphia?
But no, I think we got most of the stuff sounding really good. I think the kick and the snare we had solid. I think one of the things I found in the end was when I set up the overhead mics, I had actually had the cones facing towards the wall. So awesome. I had these over-glorified room mics and no transients at all. It was just like shh, shh, whole time. And then you'd hear a snare.
That.
You'd hear a snare. It was shh, pah, shh, and yeah, trying to figure out how to make that sound legible has just been a challenge. And then I think from there it was just like trying to tweak that before we went to record guitar. And I was trying to mix and record at the same time. Bad idea.
Really hard.
Bad idea. A lot of lessons learned from it. So I think really it's just we're gonna put out this version of Topo Chico, and it's gonna be sort of our like tee-hee whoops version. Still sounds good though. I don't want to like dog on it because the performances are great by like Marissa and Anna, and then me not so much. I'm pretty sloppy. I'm messy, so I just kind of kept my garbage in there. So anyway, yeah. But we're gonna go and then do Topo Chico right so it can be heard, at least with the cymbals the way they're supposed to be. So
that would be so cool.
It would be.
I like when cymbals sound like cymbals.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
That's true. So speaking of cymbals, now we get to give this over to you because now the real reason why I'm here is just to talk to another drummer.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, we're going to cut the rest out.
Great drum podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. The drummer's corner. The drummer's corner is with me. So I'm so curious. First off, I don't know what kind of kit you play, but I would love to know because I think last time we were on a bill together, I think it was someone else's kit.
It was.
Because I'm an asshole and I'm just like, I have to bring my
Oh,
kit.
you brought yours, yep.
Yeah, for physical reasons. The physical reason being I don't want to fucking play the other drum kit. But
Also fair.
So
There's pros and cons.
So I'm curious, what's your setup, cymbals, things like that? I'm always curious with fellow drummers.
Yeah, I have a Gretsch Catalina.
Oh, very
Club.
nice. A classic.
Yep. It's good. I really love it. I've had it for years. It's the second kit that I've had.
Nice.
My first kit was I was gonna say a first act, but I think that was the guitar. It was like
Was it
similar,
an SP? Sound percussion?
no, yeah, maybe something very basic. I
Oh,
bought
yeah.
it used at Guitar Center for $80.
That's
And it was
legendary.
great to learn on. And then I saved up and I bought my Gretsch. And then yeah, I just have I play with all Zildjian. I
Nice.
love Zildjian.
And I am curious, so who are like your biggest influences drummer wise? Who are like, yes, that's my guy, that's
Well,
my gal.
Yeah, we were just talking about Aaron Gillespie earlier.
I was gonna just walk.
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
yeah.
Yeah. I was-
Oh, my tattoo.
yeah, I thought you just wanted to hold his hand.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And now I'm disappointed.
I'm finding excuses.
So Aaron
But yes,
Gillespie.
Aaron Gillespie. Yeah, also mentioned Blink-182 earlier, so I feel like that was probably my
Monsieur Barker?
my first entrance into wanting to play drums came from Travis Barker.
Shout out to Travis Barker for keeping live drums in modern music, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Travis is cool, but the coolest thing is that he's keeping drums in modern mixes, and that is really important, and I hope that it continues. And you guys have great live presence. I appreciate it. It's really hard to find sometimes nowadays because everyone is very into like death metal and technical stuff, and sometimes presence can be a little lost, but it's not with
yeah.
you all.
Yeah.
It's great. You guys put on a fucking killer show.
Oh, yeah.
Also, shout out to a guitarist who refused to turn his amp up. What the fuck?
Oh
dude?
yeah.
What?
You know, you can mask all your mistakes because I throw my guitar around like crazy. It sounds like ass, and I just like to like cover it up a little bit sometimes.
In fact, someone yelled, "Turn your guitar up," and your exact response was, "No, Dad."
Yes.
So shout out to you all. It's been great talking to you, and I've been Mike. This has been the Talk. So we'll talk soon. Whoa, we made it to the end, and it's me. And just like we started, it's like a David Lynch movie. Just how we started, we're ending, my darlings. And I'm recording this on the phone because I forgot the microphone in the edit bay because I'm your real professional host. And Music Talks is an independent program hosted by me, the genius Mike Vale, who hits record every time. It's edited by W.T. Sheck. It has music by freaking Von Luck, dude. You can't find Vivra Vera's music on streaming yet. But you can see them March 31st at the Silhouette Lounge in Boston. And it happens definitely before the episode will air. So go buy tickets. And a big freaking thank you to all of our listeners listening and watchers watching. Goodbye.